Welcome back, everybody, to this week's edition of the PGA DFS Pick Show. I am your host, John McNutt. You can find me on socials at JohnCool19, here for Fantasy Sports Insight, talking DraftKings PGA DFS. This week is the Wyndham Championship. As always, all stats and numbers on this show are powered by Fantasy National Golf Club. If you haven't, give them a look. Excellent engine to start your research for the week. Build models, look at ownership percentages. Also, building lineups is super easy on Fantasy National. Give them a look. Let's jump right in, though. This week, PGA Tour moves to Sedgefield Country Club. This is in Greensboro, North Carolina. The course is a short par 70, only 7,100 yards. There are only two par fives this week. Definitely very gettable on both of those. Absolutely critical that you make some birdies this week on the two par fives. Bermuda grass greens throughout here. And this is a Donald Ross design. If you want to look at some comp courses, kind of focusing on some of those Donald Ross, that is more of a second shot course. Positioning and staying in the fairway critical. So really key stats I'm looking at this week. As I mentioned, drive accuracy and approach. Number 1 and 2 in my modeling. I'm not too concerned about drive distance all that much. You could certainly include off the tee if you would like, but more ball striking is going to be important here, but focusing on that approach. And this, like I said, a second shot course, we're going to see a ton of golfers in the same area of the fairway, since you cannot just outdrive your opponents here at Sedgefield. So really that kind of key distance is 150 to 175 yard range. Lots and lots of approach shots coming from there, much higher than average on the PGA Tour. If you want to look at par 4 scoring as well, there are 8 holes that fall between 400 and 450 yards. Ton of shots coming, or really that style of or length of par 4 can be in your modeling as well. I'm looking at greens in regulation this week. It is not the hardest to hit the fairways here. The greens are a bit smaller, but it is critical to hit the fairway. It is one of the most penal courses when it comes to missed fairways and then trying to find the green from there. So very, very difficult if you're not in the fairway to be able to attack this course. So include that in your modeling. I put a little bit of around the greens in my modeling also. And course history. This is a course where the golfers that finish at the top tend to do well over and over. If you look at past winners, many of them had a previous top 10 finishes at this course. So I like that a lot. And in general, this is an easier course. I'm looking at birdie or better and opportunities gained as well. That kind of give you a good look at what your model should include. Let's go ahead and jump into my favorite golfers this week, starting with Russell Henley. He is going to be very popular on DraftKings. He is 10,200, 20 to 1 outright to win this week. He did miss the cut on his last outing at the Open Championship. Before that, though, he made 9 out of 10 cuts, and 7 of those were top 20 finishes. So if you toss out the Open, he's in excellent form right now. His course history is very good. Also, he's made 5 out of 6 cuts here and top 10 in each of the last 3 years. That includes 5th place back in 2022. So really, he is checking a ton of boxes for me. Course history, form. He's very good at Bermuda grass putting. He's not known for his putting, but when it comes to Bermuda grass, he is much, much better here than he is on bent grass or otherwise. So I like that a lot. He ranks number 1 in my modeling for comp courses as well. And then his last 36 rounds, he's 5th fairways gained, 5th greens in regulation, and 13th in opportunities gained. Again, checking all those boxes. Very popular, Russell Henley. Another golfer I think will probably get a ton of ownership. He might be number 1 or 2 overall in ownership this week. That is Siwoo Kim. Part of that is I think he is mispriced at 9,000. He's up there with top 3 for best odds to make the cut this week on DraftKings Sportsbook. Yet he's only priced at 9,000 here on DFS. So I think that is a bit of a misprice. He's the same price outright to win as Russell Henley, 20 to 1. He shouldn't be $1,200 less. That makes no sense. But give me Siwoo Kim in cash lineups this week. He's missed his last 2 cuts. Maybe that's the reason he's down to 9,000. Otherwise, he's made 13 out of 18 cuts in 2023. Very, very good course history, making 4 out of 6 cuts here. But he was top 5 in each of those 4 made cuts. He won here in 2016, was runner-up in 2021. He's excellent on Donald Ross courses. excellent in my comp course model. And then for stats, he is 6th in fairways gained, 4th in ball striking, 21st opportunities gained, and that proximity stat, 150 to 175. He ranks 5th in that as well. So I think myself as well as others are looking at that price and saying you really can't pass it up, especially in cash lineups for Si Woo Kim. Look his way this week. Couple values and pivot plays to talk about. First off, Brendan Todd. Like him a lot. He is 50 to 1 outright. Again, I think mispriced here. He's the 21st best odds to win this week, but he's priced 35th on DraftKings DFS. I think he should certainly be $500-$600 more expensive, more at that like 8K price range on DraftKings. His form is good. He's made 5 out of the last 6 cuts. That includes a runner-up at the John Deere. He's played here 8 times. In the last 2 years, he finished 10th place and then 36th last year. So very familiar with the course. If you know much about Brendan Todd, he does not hit the ball far, but he absolutely hits it straight. He ranks 8th in fairways gained. He's number 1 around the greens in this field and 11th opportunities gained. And then he is very, very good putter, ranks 7th putting on fast Bermuda greens. So a lot to like here at a cheap price for Brendan Todd. Another golfer not on this slide that I need to mention, that's Denny McCarthy. He's 8,700 on DraftKings. Again, another misprice. He is the 4th best odds to win, yet he is the 13th overall price on DraftKings DFS. He's got also the 2nd best odds to make the cut at just 8,700. Doesn't make sense at all to me. Between him and Si Woo Kim, absolutely great options to start your cash lineups this week. He's got good course history, good form, fairway finder, excellent putter. Everything looks good for Denny McCarthy. But to mention some low-owned pivots, I think all 4 of those guys I've mentioned so far will garner some good ownership. Maybe Todd is the least of those 4, but talking lower ownership golfers, starting here with Adam Scott. He's 9,700 on DraftKings. I'm looking at Fantasy National right now, about 8.5 projected ownership for him. He was runner-up here in 2021. He just needs to find some fairways. He should be a great fit with the rest of his game. That is the one downfall, if there is one here for Adam Scott. Needs to find some fairways. And then another golfer I really like this week is Mark Hubbard. He's 7,500, much cheaper option. Ownership right around that 8%, 8.8% is what it's showing on Fantasy National right now. Mark Hubbard is an excellent with his irons. Great on approach. He's finished 3 top 10s in his last 7 events. He's got some missed cuts along the way. No guarantees with Mark Hubbard, but absolutely can pop and give you a top 10 at a course like this. He's made the cut here at this event the last 4 tries, including twice in the top 25. I think he is a guy to look at for your GPP lineups. Tough to want to play Mark Hubbard in cash, but at the same time, I think he is a great option this week. Last but not least here, my one and done selection, Sungjae Im. I like him. I've had him positioned, really had it marked down. I wanted to play him at this event all year long. He has excellent course history here. I am just outside the money. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it unless I get a winner in the next 2 weeks and probably need 2 wins to crack the money. But go ahead and give me Sungjae Im. Adam Hadwin burned me last week, burned a ton of people, gave me the missed cut. So I am moving on. Hopefully can pull one here on the last couple weeks. I do appreciate you watching here today. If you have any questions or comments, please put them here on YouTube. The best way to find me is to go to our Discord channel. The best way to find that is through the Twitter, and that is at FSi_DFS. You can also go through our website, FSiDFS.com. On the Discord, you will find ownership projections, weather updates on Wednesday, as well as core plays and some player pool options for your GPPs. Thanks for watching and good luck this week.